Hello, first grade. It is time for your Bible story today, and we are on our last unit, God's Gift, Special Blessings. So today we are talking about the story of Elijah, and if you would like to color our otter friend here in his den, sweet den, you may. Here's the colored section, and this one's just for coloring just for fun, if you would like to. But then we will be working on workbook page 91 that looks like this, where Elijah helps others. Right? So for today it says, Elijah was a man who loved God very much. He was called a prophet. A prophet is someone who speaks God's words to the people. Elijah told the people the things God wanted them to know. He told the people to love and obey him with all their hearts. Most of the people would not listen to Elijah, but there were many people who did listen to him. They loved God very much. Elijah traveled all over the country, speaking the words of God. One day, Elijah had been traveling and he was very tired and hungry. God told him to go to a little town. God said that there was a woman in this town who would give Elijah food, because he didn't have restaurants back then. He couldn't just go to McDonald's. So Elijah followed God's direction. When he came to the little town, he looked around and saw a woman picking up sticks from the ground. Got some sticks here to show you. You guys used to pick up sticks out all the time out here outside. She was going to build a fire with the sticks. Elijah could see that she was very, very poor. But Elijah knew that God had sent him to this woman for food. So he asked the woman, "Please give me a cup of water. I would like a piece of bread to eat also." The woman looked at Elijah with sadness. Then she said, "I am going to build a fire with these sticks, and I have just enough meal, that's like flour, to bake a little loaf of bread for my son and me. Then I will have no more to eat at all." Then Elijah knew that God had indeed sent him to see this woman. He knew that this woman loved God very much. Elijah told the woman not to worry. Then he told her to do what to do next. Make the meal into bread, and after you bake the loaf, give it to me to eat. Trust God to take care of you. So immediately, the woman did as Elijah told her to do. She took the meal and formed it into a loaf of bread. And I'm such a good cook, I made some bread just that fast. So just like this, a loaf of bread. She cooked the loaf and gave it to Elijah to eat. Then she went back to him and found more meal for food. It means more flour in the jar that she had just emptied. And when she took the meal to bake bread, she found there was still more meal. Who do you think was doing this? That's right, God. In fact, day after day, God continued to provide enough meal for the woman to bake bread for herself and her son. She and her son had food for as long as they needed. There was always enough food to eat. They never ran out. And whenever Elijah the prophet came to visit, there was enough food for him to eat also, right? So she gave him a cup of water, and they always had bread to eat. They never ran out of what they needed because she had trusted in God and obeyed. So on your workbook page on this side, it says, we need to put the right letters here. So for letter A, which picture is showing, this is all I have left. All right, that's right, it's this one here when the woman has, like I say, kind of like cornmeal that's been grounded from the corn or the wheat to make the bread. That's all she had left. B, Elijah is telling her to cook some bread. So there she is with her few sticks she had going to the oven she had back then to bake the bread. And in C, he says, "Thank you for helping me." So down here, when all three of them have enough food to eat, letter C. And letter D, "Would you give me some food?" Right? Actually, that was the first picture where Elijah comes and asks the woman for food. So God had that all planned out. So it should go this, D-A, B-C, like that. All right. Then the second part of our story goes like this. It says Elijah traveled all around the countryside, telling people the words God wanted them to hear. Elijah warned people to do right and to not sin. He told them there were consequences of sin. He told people that God wanted to bless their lives just as he had blessed the woman and her son. Often Elijah would become so tired, sometimes he would come back to the home of the woman and her son. because he knew he could get food there. He enjoyed talking to the woman about the Lord and sharing meals with her and her son. They would talk about how good God had been to them, but then one day something very sad happened. The woman's son got very sick. He became so sick that he died. How sad the woman was. Her husband had died, and now her son had died also. She did not have any other children. She was alone now. About this time, Elijah came to visit. The woman asked Elijah, "Why did God let my son die?" She cried and cried. But God had let her son die to show his great power. Elijah took the boy and carried him upstairs and laid him on his bed. Then Elijah stretched himself over the boy. That's what God had told him to do. He prayed to God and asked God to let the boy live again. God heard Elijah's prayer. The boy came back to life. Then Elijah took the boy down to see his mother. Oh, how surprised and excited she was. She hugged and kissed her son and gave thanks to Elijah and, of course, to God for bringing her son back to life again. God had again given her a great gift because she loved and obeyed God. So sometimes God does answer our prayers. Yes, that is what's best for you. Sometimes it's no, that's not what his plan is for us. And sometimes it is wait a while. But in this case, the answer was yes, I will heal your son. So we have our choices here of Elijah, the woman, God, or the son on the other side of our workbook page here, 92. It says, who had a son that died? The woman. Whom did the woman tell about her son? She had told Elijah that her son had died. Who laid himself on the boy and cried out to God? That was Elijah, God's servant. Who came back to life? The son. And who made the boy live again? That's right, God. And so we know that God answers prayer. Each picture shows a time to pray. And so in the boy here, well, some of us have been able to do this lately, depending on what side your church is. Some of you have been able to go back to pray in church. If not, you've been doing that, watching your church online, I know, praying at home. And then here this girl is praying before bed. And this boy, just like we would do at school, was praying before meals, right? And then down here, you're going to answer your own question here with I can also pray when, and I just put an example of when I need help, and also for others too. Like we used to, when we take our prayer requests here at school, we would pray for others when they need help as well. So you may put your own answer there of when you can also pray. All right, so we'll be praying for you too today, and have a great day.